would love to just do a round robin of like graceful breakups or graceful ways to say no thanks.
That we've had or that we imagine
glamour
we could have.
do's and glamour don'ts. Yeah.
Well, so I don't know about graceful, but I do just enjoy this story. I went on a first date with somebody who ended up being 50 minutes late, didn't let me know that he was late until he was already late. And then when he got there, he was just kind of like rude. You know, he was buried in his drink and telling me that the lifestyle I've chosen is going to make me depressed and I have to be careful, and just like really like nasty. And and I'm sitting there thinking like, well, I can get to know him, be curious, ask questions. I think I stayed in it for about 15 minutes until mid-date, mid-drink. I stood up and said, I don't like this. I'm not enjoying this conversation. You were late and I'm hurt and I don't want to continue spending time with you. So I'm going to leave. And I got up and left. And I was very direct, I don't like this, and I'm going to go. And that I felt was really good. It was one of the clearest I've ever been with somebody that I didn't enjoy spending time with.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Totally, love it.
I'm envious.
Thanks.
I'm working towards that. I think a good one that comes to my mind is when I went on 2 dates in a row. The first one I said, I'll tell him if I don't want to continue, I'll tell him. And then at the end of the date, he said, so let's do this again? And I said, yeah. I said, shit. Was I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you're fine.
We said that already.
Yeah.
And then the next day I had another one. Same thing. I was like, I'll tell him. He says, we'll do this again? And I said, yeah.
And you didn't want to.
I didn't want to with either one. Been in this work for a year and a half doing, trying to be honest and clear. So I went home, I got home, and I called them both, one after the other.
Nice.
and I said, I said I wanted to go out with you again, and I don't. And then I called the other one, and I said I wanted to go out with you again, and I don't.
And how were they?
They were grateful. They were both grateful. They said, wow, thank you for telling me. And they were impressed that I called instead of sent a text message.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Gutsy.
That's awesome. I love that.
I think I've been clearest when I've really been conflicted. Like most recently it was I'm sort of seeing somebody and I'd like to see how that develops, and I go out with somebody and I'm clearly not feeling it. And I too did an end of the date sort of, it'd be fun to do this, that, or the other thing. We actually had a nice sort of moment in parting, but then in trying to set up the next thing, I was just clear, I'm not feeling it. And I didn't bring myself to compose the message in a way that didn't say, my heart's kind of somewhere else right now, and I just can't bring myself to do this.
Yeah.
I would ideally like to just say, I wasn't feeling it. It wasn't that alive. We weren't that engaged, and just leave it there and not have to have that kind of external excuse sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in the realm of it not happening well, I'm just looking at, some of the guys that I've dated, within the last year, and just like 2 spring to mind where we had a couple good dates. And then, or one good date, someone brought me on a trapeze lesson on our first date, and it was really fun. And and I just didn't hear from them again. And I wasn't particularly like emotionally attached to them. It didn't like hurt a ton, but just noticing that like I'm not sure what happened, and I don't know where we stand anymore. Just this like a little bit of confusion over like, well, what next? And am I ever going to hear from them again? And so like, it's been a year for one of them, and I still kind of wonder, like, I wonder if he's ever going to reach out to me. Like, I have no idea. So just there's something to be said about the importance of clarity, I think, just for like being able to let it go.
Yeah.
So do you think that rises to the level of a new rule? I mean, given how
clear?
easy it is to communicate. Well, like communicate a clear ending.
Yes,
Right.
I think absolutely.
Yeah.